Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? What's up, Sacramento? Episode 16 of the Black Box Podcast. We're live. It's Monday. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk entrepreneurship with my good friend, Trevor Fong. You know, Sacramento, one of Sacramento's finest here. Episode 16. We're live right now on my Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube. It's Monday. Start of the grind. I'm ready to go. What's going on, Chief Fong?
Not much, man. Starting Monday off strong. Glad to do this with you.
100%, bro. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know with you owning your brick and mortar location and you having so much stuff going on in your entrepreneurship journey, man, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. And I appreciate you being on the 16th episode of the Black Box Podcast. We're live right now on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm fired up. Trevor's fired up. Let's go, baby. Trevor, bro, you know, in entrepreneurship, man, and for you, when we talked before, you had your own bar. And then you worked for AT&T, brother. What are some things first? Let's just get right off to value, man, for some audience people are watching. You know, Trevor, for some value for the audience, brother, how did you learn entrepreneurship? Did you learn it? Did someone teach you it? Did you grow up with it? Tell me about that.
You know, growing up, my parents or my dad did have a supermarket, but okay. I was so young. I didn't learn anything that way because I was so young. You know, yeah. I was a toddler.
For sure.
During school, I just, this last few weeks, I pulled my transcripts or my GPA and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like a 1.7 to 2.3 GPA student. And,
for sure. You just didn't like school or what?
I don't know. I wasn't into it. And then, all my friends, super smart, became like lawyers, doctors, had 4.0 GPAs.
Yeah.
And always felt out of place. But I remember my dad telling me growing up, you either become successful or rich by being a doctor, lawyer, or business owner.
Okay.
So doctor, lawyer were off the table with a 1.7 GPA. So I guess in the back of my mind, I thought I'd be a business owner. In high school, I sold a lot of shoes on eBay.
That's fresh. Yeah. So you kind of had you already a little bit had like a little hustle. You had a little bit sales. You were kind of you kind of knew a little bit how to do business. Tell me briefly about that shoe selling on eBay. How was that?
Well, shoes were always like something I was into, everyone liked Jordans back in this was 2001, 2002.
For sure.
And, doing eBay taught me a lot about marketing, about how to, list the items and about fees and transaction costs.
Yeah.
Doing that, I didn't think it was going to be a business lesson. I just did it because I enjoyed it. So what was really a hobby back then kind of taught me some of the things I'm doing today.
100%, bro. That's awesome. And Jordans were your favorite shoes. Were those the only shoes that you flipped?
Yeah, mainly Jordans, a little bit of some Nikes. Air Forces were hot back then, but it was mainly Jordan retros.
100%, brother. And were you like when you sold those shoes, were you a part of the culture? Did you listen to hip hop? Did you love back then, we have a pretty good age difference, but back then, the 2000s hip hops, were you, how they dress they dress so stylish and their shoes were really cool. Were you a part of that?
Yeah, everyone wanted to be like 50 Cent or Eminem or, G Unit back in the day. So, yeah, of course.
100%, brother. So you grew up, your dad's teaching you some game, your parents, you grew up in the supermarket a little bit, and obviously you were really young. Flipped on eBay. What was the next part of your entrepreneurship journey? Tell us about that.
Well, after that, I worked, retail. So I got my first official job. I worked at, Gap, Apple, Best Buy, AT&T. So I stayed in retail for 10 years. But during that time, I always felt I kind of could see that if you're in retail, if you don't make drastic changes or promote, you kind of get stuck in that environment.
I feel you.
And I really wanted to expand out. So I met someone named Len.
Okay.
At AT&T. He was on the business side.
Okay.
And he bought a bar and restaurant while we worked at AT&T. Yeah. And just whenever he would talk about it, I would listen. I'd ask him questions like, what was the process? How'd you buy it? What does liquor license, transferring look like? How do you run it? How'd you learn it? How do you learn the kitchen, the bartending? Yeah. So everyone I've ever been around, I just like to know how they operate. I like to know how they do what they do. I like to know how they put it together.
100%.
So indirectly, or maybe not directly consciously, I started to learn from others about how to run businesses. It was just a matter of asking the right people, how do you do this?
100%. And that's good value for the audience or for anyone watching, man. I appreciate it. Just knowing so many different parts about the entrepreneurship journey, how to sell, how to market, how to put your product in front of people. I think that's really important because before you operate and you own your own business like you do, if you know all those things already, and then you start building up and then you hire people to do it for you, I think that just puts you in a much better position to be successful in your own business. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
100%, brother. So you move on, you're going entrepreneurship, man. You got AT&T. Was AT&T like your biggest job in like learning everything about business?
Probably because, I was there the longest time. I was there 5 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And I really learned a lot about sales because we were a commission. That was my first commission sales job.
You had to hustle for it. You had to hustle for it.
Yeah. I learned about how to sell. I learned about commission and strategically, earning your paycheck. And then 2.5 years into that job, I promoted to manager.
Okay.
And I just learned a lot about managing people.
Yeah.
How to run a business or a store.
100%.
Had some really good bosses and mentors along the way.
That's important.
So it all kind of came together just through experience. There's never been a single moment in my life where it all clicked.
Yeah.
Everything I feel like I've done has been a combination of building up life experiences and just always looking to evolve. Even in my events today or mixers, I'm always looking for ways to add something new, but it's never a drastic leap. It's always just slow, steady improvement because I've never been big on change.
I get you.
I've always like slowly done things or been late to the party, but it's always happened over time.
Totally, brother. What advice would you give people? Like, how was it like getting a mentor or getting mentors or getting leaders? Like, were you hesitant? Like, were you afraid to ask for help? Like, how was that process like for you?
Initially, yeah, because I'd never had a mentor, never really had anyone that looked after me. And then as I started to get more serious about business, I would put people in front of me that I really wanted to learn from.
For sure.
And I found that when you ask for something politely and you're very direct with it, people will give you the time.
100%, brother. That's awesome. And do you have a mentor now with owning a location, doing your networking events in Sacramento? How is that like for you now?
I actually don't have a mentor now, but I learn a little bit from everybody. There's certain people that I keep in front of me that I talk business with probably consistently.
That's awesome.
And indirectly they're mentors.
Yeah.
But there's not a single person now I go to for anything. I really use my network of people to learn. There's some people I think are really good at making business decisions.
For sure.
I have some people that are better at the friends and family and home stuff.
Yeah,
I have some friends that are really smart with like straight marketing or social media.
Yeah,
so I have pretty much a person that I'll go to for everything I need in my life.
100%. And that's so important, man. Having a big network of people, having people that you could possibly rely on, having people that are experts in different fields to help you in your own business with other things. I think that's super important, bro. Having your own business. And obviously now, talking about Mix and Mingle and your huge networking events here in Sacramento, man. I've been to a couple of them. Shout out to you. Shout out to your team. Shout out to the events. I mean, they're sick. So, Trevor, how did you come up with this idea of like having these networking events in Sacramento, and how many have you done so far, bro?
It actually was two parts to how I thought about it. So I attended a mixer a week for my first few years in my business, and I learned a lot just from being there. There's a lot of people there you meet, and it keeps your social sales funnel full. There's a lot of people to talk to. And then I remember in 2018, I was at a wedding, and after the reception, we're all kind of drinking, hanging out, dancing, talking. I realized that a lot of deals or business happens, in a social setting.
100%,
so
man.
For me, it was a combination of doing a mixer the way I wanted to, a little bigger, a little larger, a little grander.
Yeah.
And then also the social aspect of like a wedding or birthday parties and combining those two elements into making it fun, but still, business oriented.
For sure, brother. And Trevor, when you partner with different people or different businesses or different friends of yours, how do you choose what people that you partner with and what businesses that you partner with? How do you choose that? I
haven't partnered with a lot, but I look for people that match the values I have, which is just to really like the photography company I worked with for my last mixer profile.
For sure.
They had done some headshots for me. I love the way they conduct and think about their business and brand in terms of accessible, approachable, but still top notch. So I look for people that share similar interest in me. It's hard because I do get a lot of requests for people that I would like to work with.
Yeah.
Some of it just doesn't make sense though. I try to think of it from a guest standpoint.
For sure.
If it doesn't make the guest experience better, I don't typically say yes to it.
Yeah.
So I try to keep everything simple. It's really about the networking, the people, and the experience.
For sure, brother. With your events, Trevor, with your agency, with other possible entrepreneurship things that people aren't aware of, brother, for an entrepreneur in entrepreneurship, how do you keep a balance between, your family, your children, your own personal mental health?
Yeah.
How do you keep a balance with that, brother? Like, what does that process look like for you? Because it could be overwhelming.
I think now it's different. Years ago I struggled with it, and it was everything was all over the place. I think now my mindset is whatever I'm doing, I need to give that 100% my attention.
I got you.
So like now when I'm doing, this podcast, I'm strictly focused on you and it. And I'm not, looking at other distractions. When I'm in my office, I try to limit distractions. Like I really try to just stay on my screens, computer screens, and do work stuff.
For sure.
If I'm with friends or loved ones, I really just try to be with them. Although I still struggle with that. I think everyone does.
Yeah.
I have 5 screens in front of me right now.
I get you.
It's hard. That's a never ending journey.
100%, brother. What about your personal life, man? Like, how do you balance, your own wants and needs, possibly your own health, possibly, your children? Like, how do you balance that, brother? Like, what is that? Like, are you good with separating your work with your own personal life? How does that work?
I've accepted that it's all going to be blended together because there's times where I'm with my kids and my phone rings and it's a customer in a car accident or, someone that really needs to get a hold of me and I answer it.
You're right.
But I try not to, let it ruin the moment. I think most people around me understand that I'm always turned on. So I've integrated it into my life, but I don't know if that's the healthiest way.
Yeah, I understand, brother. And that's one thing about navigating entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurship is you just learn, bro. You just learn as you go sometimes. And there's low key, like no script to this. It's just like you basically taking your talents and your passions and you're kind of going for it, man. So that's awesome. That's great value, bro. Trevor, for your networking events, man, what has been your favorite networking event? Do you have one? How was it like when you first started it? What was that like?
The first one was probably the most memorable because I remember being, obviously so nervous on who was going to show up and how it was going to be ran. But I think now, like, I always look forward to the next one. So I have Tesla this week, on Thursday, I'm doing an event at Tesla. And I have never worked with a car dealer. I've never worked with, I've never done an event outside of a neutral event like that where it's a car dealer, not like a bar lounge.
For sure.
So new territory. So I don't know what to expect, but it's gonna, even if 100 people show up and we get them some promotion and it's just a good time, that's all I really care about.
Of course, man. It sounds like you really love giving value. You're really authentic with who you are, man. That's really admirable for people because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult how you navigate yourself through social media, through how people know you, through how people interact with you, man. How do you feel like, or what is your perspective on authenticity and social media? Like, what is that like for you? What is that process like for you?
I think that's important for everybody because when you really meet people in person, whether it's at an event or just publicly, or if you're out, people will start to line up what they see on social media versus what you are.
Sure.
Sometimes social media is altered because you have an audience and it's catered 100%. To the audience, what they want to see, right?
100%.
Like if I really could, I would post food pictures all day. People that know me know I love to eat and just eat food. Yeah. But obviously a food page on my page would not probably make business sense, so I don't really do it. But I think when the more transparent you are, the more people gravitate towards you, especially long short term. If you're flashy, I think people will gravitate towards that. Long term, when there's authenticity or a little more meaning or value in the depth of your post, I think people gravitate towards that long term.
Yeah, 100%, brother.
Depends on what you're trying to attract.
Totally, 100%. At the end of the day, it could be a personal page, a business page, and who you're trying to attract and what your niche is. What your message is. I think those are all important factors in your social media. Trevor, with all your businesses, brother, and with your entrepreneurship, are you looking for other opportunities? Like, are you really focused on what you got going now? How does that like? Because, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're creative people, right? And we like to do a lot of things. We like to get, like for me, I'm really good at a lot of things. I'm not an expert at one thing, but I'm very creative and like to do other things. So what is that process like for you?
Well, wait, repeat that again.
Yeah. So, are you interested in other opportunities? Are you just really focused on what you're doing right now? Like, what is that?
I'm always open-minded.
For sure.
I'm always open-minded because, you never want to say no, or you never want to say never because you never know what opportunity will come knocking. Yeah. I listen to a lot of other opportunities, but I probably pass on 99%. My number one priority is to grow my office, is to 100%. Really host events. But each month, each year, I reevaluate where I'm at, what I want to do. So that may change. Like how I feel right now could change tomorrow, could change next year, could change next week, next month. 100%. But I'm always open to new opportunity, but that's not my priority. My priority right now is to, grow my office. My priority is to keep the events fun. And then really balance my work home life and with my family and loved ones.
That's dope, brother. Shout out to you, man.
That's my short term, foresight on how I want to do stuff, but always open opportunities. You never know what's going to come up. You never know what opportunities might make sense or might not. So I'm open to trying new things, but it's not like on the front of my mind.
Yeah, I feel it. Shout out to you, brother. That's awesome. That's incredible value for the audience. Trevor, T Fong, follow him at Trevor Fong. We're here, episode 16 of the Black Box Podcast, where I interview Sacramento area entrepreneurs, people that admire, people that are doing great work in the Sacramento community. We're live right now on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. I'm glad Trevor Fong can join me right now for a short little 30-minute conversation about entrepreneurship. T Fong, what are some things that you think entrepreneurs need to know before they start in their own business, or before they, as they navigate through the entrepreneurship journey? What are some things that you wish you had known when you started, or what are some value you can give to the audience for being a business owner that you think that has worked for you?
I think that when I first started my business and everything, I was very impatient.
For sure.
I definitely wish I would have enjoyed some of the process more. My first few years were a big struggle.
I get you.
You always want to be more successful than you are.
For sure.
Everybody, I think, would like to make more money.
Yeah.
Everybody would like to be more well-known. Everyone would like to have more time off. So I think if I could restart my business today, I would just tell myself, enjoy it, make the mistakes, relax, and enjoy the ride. Because being a business owner or an entrepreneur, it does lead to a lot of amazing things. Sometimes it's the memories, sometimes it's time, financial freedom.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just something that you're proud to share that with the world that you do. But all that stuff comes in time.
Yeah.
I see a lot of entrepreneurs now rushing for credibility and to establish themselves. I see a lot of people that are very, I was 30 when I started. I'm 34, turning 35 now.
Yeah.
I see 20-year-olds doing what I didn't even do to now. So I think there's it always seems like there's a race.
Yeah.
To be successful. And some people hit success very young. Some people are 18 and figure it out. Some people are 40 and figure it out later in life.
Yeah, man.
So I think I would tell more people now just to really enjoy the moment where they are.
Of course.
Soak it in, because life is very short. Unfortunately, this last month, I lost a close friend and a customer who.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, sweetest people.
Yeah.
And you realize that, he was only 25. He had M6. He had multiple businesses. But if you look at it now, unfortunately, he's gone. So, it makes you realize that we're all going to end up in the same place.
Yes.
But just really enjoy the moment.
100%.
I've kind of like the last month, I've kind of stripped all the goals of money and all that stuff away. And I've really just focused on how do I enjoy every day.
Dude, that's incredible. That's No, 100%, man. That's incredible value, Trevor, where do you think all this pressure comes from, man, to be so successful so fast? Like, why do you think people are motivated to be so successful? Like, what does that mean?
Society and social media in particular probably showcase so many wins and enjoying living life that you indirectly, that competitiveness in you, you start to use that as a measuring stick.
I get you, man. I get you.
The measuring stick of someone else isn't defined in your own life. Some people are very lucky and find love right away. Some people go decades without, having someone.
Yeah.
Some people find their careers at age 20. Some are restarting their careers at age 40.
You're right.
Everybody's on a different timeline. But once you start to realize that you're only competing with yourself, a lot of that pressure gets removed, and then you start to find peace and happiness and success in yourself.
I get you, brother. Trevor, firstly for you, man, what do you define as success for you? And what is fulfilling for you, man? Like what is this? What is it about entrepreneurship, or what is it about being an owner, or all these events? Like what is fulfilling for Trevor Fong?
I think what's fulfilling now is just seeing people around me successful. There's times where I do the mixers and I wonder what people get out of it. And then, all it takes is one really sweet message of someone saying like, oh, I grew my business this way, or I really had a blast. I met this person and now we're, best friends. Like sometimes just those simple things, the simple thank yous and compliments those keep me motivated enough. There's not enough, there's not like money I could get out of it or like anything that would really like make it that much better for me.
For sure.
Sometimes other people getting some out of it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, 100%, brother. I think sometimes, as entrepreneurs or as people, we forget that relationships are business, right? Like the people that are in our life, the people that have helped us and mentored us, the people that have believed in us, the people that have set us up for leadership and has set us up for success. Yeah. I think sometimes we forget, like, I used to have this coach that, believed in me, right? Or I had this teacher that would, put me off to the side at 30 minutes after class and would spit some game for me. I think sometimes we forget that because we get super caught up in our own career, our own job, our own family. But at the end of the day, man, I think business revolves around people. Yeah. And I think it's super important to acknowledge those people that have helped us along the way, and even acknowledge people that have come into our life that we make a difference in. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right on.
100%, brother. That's awesome. Trevor, you got an event coming up, right? September 16th, right?
Yeah,
This Thursday, brother. Tell us about that. What's going on? What can you do? Where can people go and check this out?
Yeah, so this week is on 9/16, so Thursday from 5 to 8. We're doing a test drive and mingle at the new Tesla location. So they opened up a new location on Arden and Fulton. Okay. It's where Maserati and I think it was Volvo and Alfa Romero used to be. Yeah. So they had reached out a few weeks ago and put this together super last minute. So I have some amazing DJs, Ron Reeser and Alex Gold, who are super amazing in this community. Yeah. Do their DJ sets. I have a quesadilla company who also happens to be a customer coming out, who for sure the best quesadillas I've ever had. They're amazing.
Shout out to them.
Just Tesla, there's not going to be any alcohol at this event because we are wanting people to test drive the cars and showcase the Teslas. I became a Tesla owner a year ago. Okay. How do you like it? Do this actually hooked me up and sold me one. That's awesome. It's just kind of my way of sharing my experience with the world, but it's just going to be a really fun event. So this one's all ages. It's this Thursday, 5 to 8, and it's on Eventbrite. It's absolutely free. It'll be a really fun time.
Love it, man. That's so sick. Bringing community together, getting other business owners, other entrepreneurs, other like-minded people together. I think that's really cool. It's really important. At the end, like we talked about, man, relationships are everything. Relationships are business. For you, unfortunately, man, you lost a good friend of yours a month ago. And I think, it's important, right, to tell people that you care about them. It's important to, gather with people that you don't know because at the end of the day, strangers are friends too, right? Like, people, they become your friends. So go to this event, check us out, test drive a Tesla, mingle September 16th, 5 to 8. What's next for Trevor Fong, brother? What are some goals that you have going into the end of the year, into next year? Have you thought about that? What's that like for you?
I'm going to enjoy the rest of this year because we had a really phenomenal year. This year has been significantly better than last year, obviously, I think because, we kind of understand what COVID is and how to operate within it. But the rest of the year, I'm just going to relax. I think after the Tesla event, I have maybe 2 or 3 more events the rest of the year, if that. I want to spend some time, decorating my house and doing stuff at home. My daughter just started school last week, so I've been picking her up Fridays and doing, father-daughter Friday dates.
Dude, that's so cool.
So, I don't have anything crazy, but as I do wrap up the rest of the year, what will be on my mind is, what do I do for events in 2022?
For sure.
What do I want for the next level of my business? And it can be something simple as, maybe doing 20% better than this year. Yeah. It can be something crazy like rebranding and doing my social media marketing and being more strategic there. It's honestly just small baby steps. Everything I feel like I've done is just a step up from what I did in the past. I've never taken big leaps and bounds. I get everything you do is like the next step, the next baby step. And that's
100%. And that's entrepreneurship, right? Just small, for some people, just small steps, getting 20% better the next year, hiring one more employee, maybe posting on social media an extra 50 times a year. Like, there's just small little increments, man, that help you get better. And at the end of the day, man, it's just a journey and you have to enjoy it. And you just have to find what's successful and what fulfilling is for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't have anything crazy that I want to do, but I definitely want to continue to see subtle little improvements every day for the rest of this year. And then as we go into 2022.
100%, T Fong. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. Where can my audience find you, man? If you're watching, I'm grateful. Episode 16 of the Black Box Podcast, talking to my good friend T Fong. Here, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube. shout out to you, man. Shout out to your business. Where can people find you, brother? Where you at?
I think Instagram's the easiest at Trevor Fong. You know, anyone that follows me, if they're local, we have mutual followers, I always try to follow back, and I respond to all the messages myself. That's probably the best way. And I actually am pretty active on Facebook, but it seems more people on Instagram.
100%, man. I know you're active on Facebook. You're active on LinkedIn. I like your stuff, man. You're active on Instagram. So shout out to you. Shout out to your stories. Shout out to your sushi restaurants. I know you like sushi, man. So, hey, man, it looks good, brother. It looks good. That's awesome, brother. You know, before we go, Trevor, what's it like being a dad, bro? Like, you know, for someone's watching, maybe someone's a dad, and they're like, "Fuck, like I don't know how to be the best dad, man." Like, what is that? What is that like for you, brother?
Being a dad's fun. You know, you definitely have to remind yourself that you have a responsibility as a parent. You know, when I was driving my daughter to school last week, I was driving to school and I was like thinking like, man, does she know how to raise her hand? Like, does she know how to be polite? So I was like, we were walking up and I was like, Savannah, do you know how to raise your hand? She said, yes. I was like, show me. And then she put like her little hand in the air like this.
That's awesome.
You know, you're often reminded that for all the stuff we deal with in the world, from the COVID to the masks to the social media craziness to all the hate crimes and just the craziest weird stuff going on in the world today, the simplest things that we're responsible for is just, you know, if you're a dad, taking care of your kids. If you're a friend, be a good friend. If you're a son or, you know, whoever, take care of your parents. You know, if you're a friend, look out for them. If you just keep your life simple and just do the right thing every time, it all works out. But being a dad isn't really about that. It's about keeping it simple and doing the right thing for your kids and for their future.
That's facts, guys. You heard him. If you're watching, I appreciate you. I'm grateful. We talked to Trevor Fong today. We talked about entrepreneurship, talked a little bit about his agency, talked about his networking events and how he views you know, success and fulfillment. If you're free on this Thursday from 5 to 8, go test drive a Tesla, man. I know you guys want to get in that whip and skirt. So go check it out. Go check out these events. He does great work in the Sacramento community. So, you know, follow Trevor Fong. Check out what he's up to. Trevor, thanks for being on the show, man. I appreciate you, man. I know you do great work. Yeah, 100%, man. I know you do great work and you got stuff to do. So much love, man. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to give? Anything else you want to say to the audience?
No, that's it. Thank you guys for having me. And hopefully I'll see you at some of the events. It'll be fun.
Yeah, let's go, baby. All right, episode 16. We out.